Hello, good. Uh, Today I'll be focusing on leveling up my character because I haven't finished the Boulder uh, and then the Shenzhou this future market and homecoming organs. I haven't completed it yet, and there's a lot of relics that in these uh, two places. I'm going to Shenzhou. Hello, what is it?
Hmm.
What's up, Pom Pom?
Just got a message from the Xianzhou La Fu. Looks like it'll conflict with our original schedule.
What is it? Oh,
It's
hello,
been a
Jimmy.
while, my friends on the Astral Express. How's your trailblazing expedition going? Soon, the Xianzhou Luofu will be holding the Luminary War Dance. Those who have aided the Luofu in overcoming the crisis are cherished allies of the Xianzhou. Thus, on behalf of the Seat of Divine Foresight, I'm extending an invitation to attend the ceremony. Your presence would be greatly appreciated.
Well, things aren't getting lively. We've barely recovered from the family's Charmony Festival, and we're already being invited to another special event.
Festivity.
Yeah, me too.
What kind of festivity is
But
that?
wait, won't it look unprofessional if we attend two ceremonies in a row?
It's okay.
Aren't we supposed to be focused on restoring astral charts and doing some serious scientific exploration?
I don't know about that.
So we should leave March behind to take care of the express?
Ah,
Hey, that's not what I meant. I'm all for some fun. I just hope there won't be any surprise party crashers, like Friday or Saturday.
The Xianzhou Luofu has recently overcome a crisis. By holding the war dance, they're demonstrating to everyone that they've returned to a state of peace and
Dating
safety.
PSA.
But that's what everyone said before we went to Penacony. We'll be totally safe under the family's protection.
No need to worry. The war dance is not like the Charmony Festival with all its hidden secrets. It's just a festival to honor the Rainbow Arbiter and the Cloud Knights, who fought against the abominations of abundance and protected the Xianzhou ships.
Oh,
Aside from star skiff performances, it's mostly martial contests. Nothing too
martial
different from the
contest, eh?
Taiki and Roboball contest we've seen before.
What do you think, Himiko? Since we've accepted Miss Black Swan's proposal, we should probably head to Amphorius for refueling.
There's certainly no rush. This trailblazing expedition is quite unique, and the Express needs to be fully stocked and prepared before moving on to the next stop. With Madame Herta's help, I was planning to deliver some Leviathan fossils from Kalinga Abyss to Ron May, member 81 of the Genius Society. It could earn us some favors before we set off. However, it may take a few weeks.
Aw, so that means we're not going to the Lafu.
No.
Being an adult means maintaining relationships, whether we like it or not, Marge. Since we've been invited, it's only right for the Astral Express to attend the ceremony. So here's the plan. Pom Pom will take everyone to the Xianzhou Lafu. Mr. Yang and I will meet up with Ron May and fulfill our promise. Meanwhile, you, March, and Don Hung will represent the Express and attend the war dance.
What do you two think? I don't hear any objections.
Now that everyone's on board with the plan, it's to warp to the Xianzhou La Fu.
Kalinga Abyss. What does she expect to find there? Current research on the Leviathan merely proves how little we know about such life forms.
Oh,
That's why geniuses are interested in that field. Science is all about uncovering the unknown. Don't miss us too much. If I stumble upon some cool Leviathan fossils, I'll bring a few back as souvenirs for you.
I know them too.
Himeko really knows how to convince people. Between Leviathan fossils and the war dance, the latter definitely sounds more fun. By the way, Danheng, this time you'll be taking a stroll with us on the Lafu, right?
Just let you two wander around aimlessly on the Luofu by yourselves? I don't think so. Plus, Mr. Yang is right. The ambrosial arbor crisis just ended, and both the long life and short life species are still feeling uneasy. And that's why Jing Yuan wants to organize the war dance, to show that the Xianzhou Luofu is stable and safe. And since he has extended an invitation, it's only right that I visit my old friend.
Coming back to this place brings back so many memories, you know? Hey, I'm not actually gonna recite a poem. I was just thinking about all the twists and turns we went through when we first arrived on the Xian. This time, we're not being forced or enticed or chasing after wanted criminals. And we didn't have to sneak in through the cargo dock. This trip has been incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Quite unusual, I must say.
Yeah, into Jinx
I'm
dance.
just hoping for the best.
Let's go.
Is the Starskiff Haven always this crowded? Oh, there's so many people here. I can barely hear anything.
Yanqing said General Jingyuan sent him to welcome.
Let's wait for him and...
Hey, you guys! Hold on a moment. Did they just... Are you familiar with the Xianzhou Lafu?
Yeah.
We know a little bit about it. What do you need?
We're from Penacony. Maybe you've heard of it. We came to this ship to gather interesting materials for making dream bubbles.
Oh, we just left there. Oh, talk about coincidence.
That's great. Do you?
We did, but the locals were all like, come on, there's nothing worth seeing on the Lafu.
Can't blame.
That's why we're asking fellow tourists.
Most of the tourists around at the moment are here to attend the war dance. And
Yeah, we know about...
I've heard the ring was actually converted from a huge decommissioned Lafu fighter jet.
Okay.
No doubt about it. It's a massive fighter jet. It's got to be larger than a civilian starship.
But for now, all we can do is wait until the war dance starts in a few weeks.
We're looking for unique experiences that you won't find on Penacony.
you're the expert here. Oh, yeah! Fixed-roll garden!
Supernatural?
Ooh, it does sound interesting.
Look, Yan...
Really? Let's go
There you are. Everyone, this way.
It's so festive. So
Hey,
lively.
everyone. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long since we last saw you.
I don't know about that.
Yanqing, are you?
What's up, Miss March?
They say kids grow up really fast. Yanqing, Are you a little bit taller than before?
We've only been away for a few months.
Really? The General is always worried I won't grow much taller. But I keep telling him not to worry about it. Sorry for the delay. With the upcoming war dance and the Starskiff Haven being so busy, things are a little hectic.
Seriously, I've never seen the Lafu so lively before.
I was a bit worried that holding the war dance right after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis might be too soon. But seeing the bustling Starskiff Haven, I understand why General Jing Yuan chose this timing.
Yep. There's people from other delves and travelers like you three who have come from afar. With the war dance coming up, there's a huge number of visitors pouring into the Starskiff Haven. The Cloud Knights are working hard to keep the security tight. The General said this ceremony would help the Xianzhou Lafu recover from the crisis. It's a way to showcase our martial spirit, reassure people, boost morale, and attract visitors from other... By the way, the Xianzhou Alliance places great importance on this ceremony too. The Xianzhou ships, the Zhu Ming and the Yao Qing, have both sent messengers to offer their blessings. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I wonder if you've heard of it. It's known as the Star Forge, and it's responsible for providing more than half of the Cloud Knights' armaments. The Xianzhou Juming boasts skilled craftsmasters, and General Huayan is a top-notch craftsman himself. If only I could get a sword forged by him, I'd be on Cloud 9.
By the way, Yanqing, where are we headed next?
I'm sorry for talking your ear off. The General wants to catch up with you at the Palace of Astrum. He's been eager to hear about how the Express has been doing.
It's funny how he tries to act all mature, but whenever it comes to something he's interested in, you can really see his childish side.
I agree.
What's happening?
All units, assemble quickly! Get ready to protect the crowd!
Just mentioned security, and now all of a sudden something's gone wrong. Excuse me, I need to go check.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
We'll go with you.
Oh,
Protect the civilians. I'll deal with him. Borison? Why are there Borison here? This is now. Lend me your strength. Never hesitate.
Shit!
Next time. Just a little something. Think nothing else.
Lance! Forward!
Lend me your strength.
The fearless will not fear.
Triumphant!
Victory is inevitable.
That's better.
Never hesitate.
should have been able to turn around.
The fearless will not fear. Never hesitate.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Triumphant. Victory is inevitable.
Lance!
Pretty nice. Oh,
Not good.
oh.
Thanks for the help.
Sorry, no time to chat. Could you give me back my...
She's stealing the sword. What was that?
Wait, my sword! I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we'll have to...
While we appreciate your rescue, my Xianzhou friends, don't you think it's a bit too much to detain us and our cargo?
Oh,
Sorry.
it's
We've
the
been ordered
cargo.
to detain you and your cargo for inspection until we figure out the source of the attack. Once we're done with the formalities, we'll let you and your cargo go.
Oh, but this shipment isn't even meant for the Luofu. And it's IPC's patented technology. Who do you think you are to conduct an inspection?
According to the protocol, all cargo arriving on the Luofu must go through an...
But we didn't officially enter your dock at all. We just sought refuge in your dock because we were attacked by the Borisin.
Looks like this argument could go on forever. Who's in charge here? I need some answers.
It's my fault.
With the war dance approaching, safety should be a top priority. According to the protocol, Borisin prisoners should be held on a star skiff and taken directly to the shackling prison under strict supervision without ever touching the ground. Who allowed a prisoner transport ship to dock at the passenger terminal?
Please don't blame this, Captain. This incident involves the Zhu Ming's diplomatic vessel.
Who are you?
I'm Lu Jun, an officer of the Patrol Defense Squad. Thank you for your help, Lieutenant Yanqing. The situation unfolded rapidly, and it shouldn't be held against the captain.
I don't
Here's
know
what
about
happened. An IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borisin just before arriving, and the Zhu Ming's diplomatic vessel came to the rescue. They fought off the Borisin pirates and imprisoned them on their ship.
So, an IPC ship was attacked by the Borisin near the Luofu, and the Zhuming envoys saved them? This sounds complicated.
Honestly, it gives me a headache too. The Zhu Ming diplomatic ship, adhering to standard procedure, docked at the passenger terminal to hand these criminals over to the Luofu. You know, with all the outsiders flooding onto the Luofu, the star skiff lanes are under immense pressure. The Borisin desperados decided to put up a fight before the prisoner transport star skiff could get there. And that's what you just witnessed.
We'll make sure these prisoners are sent to the shackling prison as soon as possible.
I see. It's an unusual situation, and maybe I should gather more details from others.
Oh, you...
Please don't tease me, Miss Mar.
What are those people?
Those werewolf monsters are known as Borisin. The Borisin have been a powerful force for a long time, plundering and enslaving many worlds. The
It's
threat
gonna
they
be
pose
another
is just as terrible as the Swarm
problem
disaster.
for
And the Alliance even had a fierce war with
trail
them 3 decades ago.
laser.
Their presence has faded over the years.
According to that officer, they attacked an IPC ship near...
Yeah, that's what I find strange too. Well, enough with the chit-chat. I'd love to chit-chat a little longer. Thank you, but it's... By the way, that young lady who just appeared, she took my sword. I'm thinking of filing a lost property report at the Realm Keeping Commission.
I doubt she did it.
Don't remind me. All right, let's not keep...
Don't worry. There aren't many people out there with that.
Oh. Okay. Goodbye for now.
There sure are a lot of troublemakers around.
Why is Legion seems suspicious? Huh? Yeah, the region seems suspicious, man. Right. Nope, 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 nope. What's this? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Nope. So,
Miss Natasha!
How time flies.
ito din kasi ang island ka na.
It's been a long journey, Elder Wyatt. Thank
Yes,
you
yes.
for your presence.
General, I brought our guests from the Express. Oh, I'm sorry for my bad timing. I didn't know you were meeting a guest, General.
Don't worry, you're just in time. It's been a while, my friends from the Astral Express. Sure, how couldn't I have? It's not often we find such moments to reunite.
Since when did he and General Jing Yuan become such good buddies, Dan Heng? They seem to be having a great time.
A lot must have happened without our knowledge. At least, I hope that's the case.
Allow me to introduce you to General Huayan. He's the Arbiter General of the Xianzhou Zhuming, known as the Flaming Heart.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a tourist here, no different from other tourists who've come to attend the ceremony.
Elder Huayan is not only one of the Arbiter Generals, but also the Furnace Master of the Artisanship Commission. Besides his martial skills, he excels in forging various weapons.
Oh.
Such talent...
Be it Arbiter General or Furnace Master, these are merely titles given to me long ago. I've retired several times already, but with the current change in circumstances, the Marshal has called me back to duty. Well, in the end, I'm to blame. Living such a long life naturally brings its share of disapproval.
It's an honor to meet you, General Huayan.
It's my honor to meet you, General Huayan.
No need to be all formal. So, these three are the ones you mentioned, Jing Yuan? The heroes who helped you with the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Indeed. There's Dan Heng, March 7th, and him. Without their help, I'm afraid the Law Fu might not have easily overcome this crisis.
So, the Imbibitor Lune's reincarnation has returned to the Law Fu and will attend the war dance. I'd love to have a drink with you should the chance present itself.
You're more than welcome, General Huayan.
And this young friend is?
Yanqing, my apprentice. He remains by my side as my retainer due to his youth, which I hope will season him with experience. He will stand for the Law Fu's Cloud Knights in the upcoming war dance, ready to take on all kinds of challenges.
Great, great! It's a real treat to see so many talented young people around here today. Oh, I almost forgot. This is my apprentice, Yun Li.
It's you!
Oh, it's you. Hello.
Oh, you two already know each other? Guess we don't need any introductions then.
What a coincidence. I was afraid I'd have trouble finding this girl.
Now you've piqued my curiosity. Tell me, how did you two become acquainted?
She helped me capture the escaped Borison prisoners at the Starskiff Haven. Allow me to express my gratitude for you. But when you left, you took my flying sword with you.
Your flying sword? Oh, so that's why I found a dagger in my bag. Turns out it's yours.
Yes, it is. Now that we've met again, I hope...
She threw it out.
Nope, that won't do.
What?
Won't do?
You want your sword back, right? Well, you can't just take it back. I'm assuming when you lose your sword on the battlefield, you have to reclaim it on the battlefield. As for this little sword, it was supposed to strike that escaped Borison prisoner. But unfortunately, its owner's agitated state caused it to fly off like a kite with a broken string, and it missed its target. By the way, if I hadn't caught it and helped it hit its mark, that Borison prisoner would have gotten away.
Hold on a second, Lee. You took my sword without even asking, and now you're refusing to give it back?
So much for Lawfu's swordmasters.
What did you just say?
If you just stepped up and took your sword back from me fair and square...
The hell? What kind of logic is that?
But nope, you tried to play it down, expecting me to just hand it back to you like it's nothing. In front of everyone. With all due respect, you don't honor your sword. So you don't deserve it.
What the hell?
Hasn't anyone told you that taking without asking is stealing? If you want to settle this with swords, fine. Let's have a one-on-one duel right now.
Yanqing.
Well, that's more like it. Just be careful. Because I'm not as easy to handle as the Borison.
You two, be quiet and apologize to Yanqing.
Hey! Whose side are you on, Grandpa?
I don't take sides.
It's a small misunderstanding, and an apology would be too much. I've heard about the Zhu Ming's incredible swordplay and craftsmanship. Most notably, the legendary Flame Wheel Octet. Seeing Miss Yun Li, who is among those ranks today, well, I must say, she definitely has that fiery edge.
Such grandiose names. Some folks love to spin these fancy titles, trying to set the Cloud Knights apart. Yun Li is still just a young girl, a bit awkward and hot-tempered. So please forgive her if she's being rude.
Well, everyone, Elder Huayan and I have some business to discuss. For now, Yanqing, why don't you entertain our guests and take Miss Yun Li to the inn?
He's pissed off.
I'll find another chance to talk with you. I'd like to express my gratitude to the Astral Express for helping the Law Fu during the crisis.
That's so kind of you. I mean, you've already thanked us so many times.
Please forgive me for coming at an inconvenient time.
You needn't apologize, General Huayan.
All right, Yun Li. Take this opportunity to clear things up with Yanqing.
Yeah. It's better to make friends than enemies. But I won't be heading to the inn just yet. I want to visit Lingsha. She just arrived in the Lawfu and could use some help settling in.
Yanqing, once you've helped our guests get settled, go to the Artisanship Commission for me. I've heard about the attack and the detainment of the IPC ship. Qingzu sent word that the IPC members are protesting and wish to have their cargo back. See if you can calm them down. Don't get aggressive. Just make it clear that the Xianzhou Luofu has no intention of violating their rights.
I'm on it.
This trip is totally worth it. Compared to the Juming, the Luofu is so much but it's a shame the Luofu swordmasters don't seem that great. I have some things to do. Yeah, you're right. Besides, the sword seems scared of its own master. I didn't intend to keep his sword. I'll give that poor flying sword some proper maintenance. I won't, so he can forget about it for now.
Not at all. Yanqing can understand your concerns.
Hey, but that General Huayan, he looks so thick.
Well, each Xianzhou ship has its own division and specialty.
Don't you find it strange? But General...
Good question.
Nah,
We should leave.
This is the report, Qingzu. Looks like the General has given me a tough challenge. He wants me to try and help put the IPC's mind. Well, it's not exactly it. It's just, you know, talking things out isn't as straightforward as duking it out with weapons on the... well, let's not...
It is the Luofu's honor to have you in attendance at the war dance. Yet, the fact that a simple martial arts ceremony has attracted esteemed generals from the Zhu Ming and the Yao Qing implies intentions beyond mere spectating.
You're overthinking it, Jingyuan. As I said, I'm here to broaden my granddaughter's horizons.
No, but it
I have
says...
no ulterior motives. However, I have no clue what the Yao Qing Arbiter General has in mind. Do you remember when you accepted this position? I told you that an Arbiter General's battlefield goes beyond the physical one. You'll need to lead and manage everything on the Xianzhou. The title, so many years have passed, and you've done well. However, longevity for the Xianzhou people can be a curse. Living too long means that every mistake you made will lurk in the shadows. The Marshal knows everything that has happened on the Luofu. As for the Merlin's Claw of the Yao Qing, she has come specifically for you. Speaking of which, why hasn't she arrived yet? They say the Merlin's Claw strikes like lightning. Being late isn't her style.
That's not true, General Huayan. She's been here a while, but I'm sure you've heard of her unbridled nature.
Oh, what's this?
As soon as she disembarked from the star skiff, she mentioned having something to attend to, and simply...
You must be the messengers from the Xianzhou Yao Qing, I assume.
We are Jiaoqiu and Moza, retainers of the Merlin's Claw. It's an honor to meet you in person, Arbiter Generals.
Now this is interesting. A guest who doesn't come to visit but sends a message instead.
Master heard about a spectacular view in Scale Gorge Waterscape. I believe she went there to enjoy...
A spectacular view? Ha! Did you hear that, Jingyuan? This person is being sarcastic.
Please do not misunderstand me, General White. Once she's finished with admiring the scenery, she'll personally come and apologize to the both of you.
Drat. I forgot to ask Yun Li to return my sword. Unacceptable. If it weren't for the General's interference, I would have taught that shameless girl a lesson in swordplay. By the way, I don't know if it's just me, but the General seemed a little...
reserve.
Maybe I'm just a...
No, you're not. When I entered the Palace of Astrum, I realized that the messenger from the Xianzhou Zhu Ming was actually the Arbiter General himself.
Oh.
So, the messenger from the Xianzhou Yao Qing must be the Merlin's Claw herself, I presume.
That's right.
Well, that's what makes this entire thing so unusual.
What's so unusual about it? They simply received an invitation from Jing Yuan, just like the crew, right?
No.
The war dance is just a small festival. And now we have 2 Arbiter Generals from other Xianzhou ships here. I'm afraid they're here for something more.
Definitely.
Maybe they've come to hold Jingyuan accountable for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Hold him accountable? Come on, didn't the Luofu fall victim to the disciples of Sanctus Medicus and the Antimatter Legion? Why would they blame the victim?
Don Shu's rebellion and Ventilia's scheming are merely one side of the story to the other Arbiter Generals of the Alliance. Only a single piece of incontrovertible evidence remains, creating an endless source of potential complications.
The Ambrosial Arbor.
Yes. It's undeniable that the plague mark, which was subdued by the Xianzhou Luofu, has resurfaced. But was it really a conspiracy instigated by the Antimatter Legion? Or does it indicate a traitorous intent from within the Luofu, implicating Jingyuan himself? Once the spark of suspicion is kindled, it proves hard to extinguish.
Aye, aye.
What was I thinking? Seriously, here I was looking forward to a carefree and enjoyable trip. But it seems wherever we go, drama is just around the corner.
Aw, I was so excited. I thought those Arbiter Generals were just here to see the... By the way, I heard that an alchemist from the Zhuming diplomatic ship has arrived. And rumors say that she's to be the new Cauldron Master of the Alchemy Commission on...
An alchemist from the Zhu Ming serving as the Cauldron Master on the Luofu? While it's not unheard of, the timing itself...
Thanks to your words, Mr. Dan Heng. Now I finally see the underlying tensions. The General is under tremendous pressure right now, but I was completely oblivious to his troubles. How naive of me.
Come on, don't think... did I...
Miss March is right. I don't have the skills to share the General's burdens at the moment. Still, I'll do my best to follow his instructions.
He looks like he has a lot...
this...
no worries. We're pretty experienced in dealing with the... Hey, who's bragging?
Well, since you're willing to help.
Can I really reason with you Xianzhou people? I think I get it now. In your words, this is called looting a burning house, right?
Ugh, that toxic voice sounds familiar.
You know what? This isn't my but straight up snatching IPC. I'm hearing you loud. Keep detaining my cargo. Don't think you can possibly convince me. Staying on the Xianzhou, are you? What terrible luck. Wherever you go, disasters aren't far behind.
Aren't you the guest from the Astral Express? What brings you and Yan?
Trouble caused by the IPC? I'd say it's caused by the Skyfaring Commission.
Looks like you've met this IPC worker before. I was sent here to deal with the IPC.
As you know, this IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borison and rescued by the Jumi. And this is Mr. Scott.
So, you're Scott. I've heard him mention you. Weren't you kicked off the Luofu before? Why did you come back?
Like I wanted to come back. I thought I'd just dock at the harbor for repairs and leave this forsaken place for good. Little did I know, as soon as the ship entered the harbor, a bunch of Cloud Knights showed up and snatched all our cargo.
What do you mean by snatched? I've told you 1,000,000 times.
Then why did you bring the cargo to the Artisanship Commission? You even brought in some shade.
Listen here. Firstly, the Skyfaring Commission detected dangerous items that could possibly be weapons in your cargo hold. That's why they called me here, to double check. Secondly, where the heck did you get the idea that I'm a shady craftsman?
Even if there are dangerous items, what do they have to do with you? It's not even being shipped to the Lawfu. We'll just fix the ship and be on our way. We won't unload our cargo here.
But you'll have to stay in the port for several days before your ship is repaired and you can take off again. How can we just leave unchecked items sitting here?
Definitely.
I understand, but we don't need to disassemble the cargo if it's just a security check, right?
In most cases, we don't. However, our scans discovered that the cargo doesn't only contain machinery, but also some substance that resembles biological tissue.
Biological tissue? Does this crate contain living things?
I'm afraid we'll need to wait for the Alchemy Commission for further confirmation. In any case, according to our regulations, we need to unseal one of the crates for further examination. But this IPC specialist has been hindering us on the grounds of patent secrecy.
The Alliance's regulations on biological products are very strict. Without further inspection, there is no way for the Skyfaring Commission to release the cargo.
Oh, really? Fine. If anyone lays a finger on that shipment, they'll have me to deal with. It doesn't matter if it's mechanical or biological. It's none of your business. I'm filing a complaint against the Skyfaring Commission's ridiculous regulations.
This Mr. Scott seems stubborn and difficult to persuade. Honestly, I really don't want to have a vicious confrontation with the IPC. I heard how you helped R. O'Malley. The IPC representative back then was Mr. Scott, right?
What are you guys whispering about over there?
As I recall, this guy won't listen to reason and can only be persuaded with intimidation. But he does seem to follow rules to some extent.
Speaking of regulations, we have our own laws and regulations too. According to Article 4 of the Cienjo Alliance IPC Trade Consensus, the Alliance and IPC shall never infringe on each other's intellectual property rights.
The Alliance can sign a non-disclosure agreement with you. That way, you won't have to worry about any infringements, right?
We can sign a mutually acceptable non-disclosure agreement in accordance with the IPC's rules.
Well, that makes sense, but how can we trust you to honor the terms? Even if we set aside the secrecy of intellectual property, these prototypes built by the Intelligentsia Guild are incredibly valuable, beyond your wildest imagination. If anything goes wrong, you won't be able to pay for it even with your life.
Don't underestimate Cienjo technology. Even if they need to dismantle your cargo, the Artisanship Commission can easily put it back together.
Yeah, go ahead and brag about their skills. After all, you're just but I'm different. I'm an IPC member, and my fleet has accepted this transportation order. Besides, the cargo on this transport vessel belongs to the Intelligentsia Guild. If you want to inspect the cargo, shouldn't you at least call in a member of the Intelligentsia Guild?
According to the principle of territoriality, since your vessel is stranded on the Cienjo, the Skyfaring Commission has the right to inspect it.
Indeed. According to Article 27 of the Cienjo Legal Code, all official and private goods upon entering the port shall be subject to inspection. Failure to submit to such inspection shall be deemed equivalent to the possession of unlawful items and...
My synesthesia beacon must not be working, because I have no idea what you just said.
Simply put, if you insist on hindering the inspection, we'll have to treat the cargo as unlawful item items and confiscate it.
Confiscate it? How can you Xianzhou people be so unreasonable?
If this were Pier Point, and incoming cargo posed a safety risk, the IPC would take it in for containment and disposal, correct?
Definitely.
That's true, but the IPC sometimes makes
Sometimes, but
For
all
example,
that
they've always
not
given
always.
special terms to Xianzhou vessels. We both need to follow the regulations, because that's how the IPC and the Xianzhou operate, right?
Everyone has their own set of rules. Now that you're on their turf, shouldn't you follow their rules too?
Definitely.
I know I'm on the Xianzhou, but if I violate the IPC regulations, I'll be in deep trouble when I get back. Well, you guys sure know how to argue. Fine. I'll allow you to do the security inspection.
So, Mr. Scott, are you just stalling for time and planning to leave the Xianzhou as soon as your ship is repaired? To avoid the Skyfaring Commission's inspection?
Well, IPC staff are free to come and go, as long as they don't break any laws.
Yeah, you've got some insight there.
Oh, what's this?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Holy
I'm
shit.
Linsha, Cauldron Master and head of the Alchemy Commission on the Lawfu.
Could she be?
Yeah, she's the new Cauldron Master assigned here from the Xianzhou Juming.
I received a report from the Artisanship Commission about cargo containing samples of unknown organisms. It said they needed help from the Alchemy Commission. I had nothing better to do, so I came myself.
Oh.
It's fine, Mr. Scott. If you really don't want your cargo to be inspected, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? How can you say that?
Why are you being so nice all of a sudden? Well, since you're not going to check it, I'll take this crate and be on my way.
Yeah, sure. Why should I object? Not only this sample, but all the goods on the transport ship are yours to keep. Like I said, we won't inspect them.
What?
Wait a minute!
Well, that's more like it. If only the young displayed a more reasonable attitude, we could have sidestepped that altercation just now. Our ship will leave in a few days once the engines are repaired.
Your ship can leave whenever you want, but I'm afraid I can't say the same for your cargo. According to the import and export regulations signed between the Xianzhou and IPC, all biological shipments can only leave the port when they have confirmed to be of no threat, or when all biological activity expires.
Or dead.
Since we can't determine if your shipment is safe for the environment, I guess we'll have to wait for its biological activity to expire.
Oh.
Let me check the previous cases. Normally, it'll only take around 47 star calendar years.
Only 47 years?
Why so surprised? You're still young and full of energy. I'm pretty sure you'll live a few more decades. Have some confidence in yourself.
Ha! Typical of a long-life species. Your words are dripping with sarcasm. While you may not care about time, I do. I'll be demanding double compensation from the Skyfaring Commission for every minute wasted.
Sure thing, Mr. Scott. You seem pretty confident that your career and life will last long enough to witness this victory unfold.
Step aside, guys. Let them do the inspection.
But, Mr. Scott...
Come on, we're already in enough trouble. Just let them do the security inspection. And if needed, I can always grovel before the Intelligentsia Guild later. I'm just using my head for what it's apparently good for, right? Well, honestly, at least you're not as annoying as that woman.
And you're still as annoying as ever.
This lady something else.
Is this the IPC product?
Listen up. Any damages caused by inspections will be filed with the IPC.
What? What the hell? What?
How unexpected. That
Whoa.
lend me your strength.
That's better.
Oh.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Oh. Ah, that's so weak. Oh.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Troublesome.
That's better.
What the hell?
Were you seriously planning to leave this stuff unchecked at the dock for days? That's way too dangerous.
I had no idea about it. You must have accidentally triggered the cargo's defense program.
I don't think trying to shift the blame is a wise choice.
But seriously, I don't know why that thing suddenly started moving. I swear on the Ember Lord.
Enough. Miss Shikwe, please escort our IPC guest to the Skyfaring Commission.
I'm on it. Please follow me, Mr. Scott.
Mr. Scott, what are you doing, Scott?
Our preliminary inspection shows that there is indeed hidden biological tissues inside. Just like the craftsman feared. I can't even tell if it's ingenium or biological in nature.
The core of this device is what they call wetware in industry slang. To put it simply, this machine operates with a kind of biological nerve as its control center.
I'll take some samples for the alchemist to analyze and figure out where the biological tissue comes from.
Why would the Intelligentsia Guild use such unethical technology? Perhaps they're trying to create a new weapon?
Whatever the reason is, it's probably why the Borison attacked the ship. No wonder the IPC were trying to obstruct our inspection. I'll contact the Ten Lords Commission and ask the judges to come and give their final verdict on this. According to our rules, all prisoners and weapons involving dangerous creatures must be taken to the shackling prison for further sentencing. After all, it's the safest place on the Luofu. As for you, Mr. Craftsman, please go with the Cloud Knights and explain the situation to the judge. I had a feeling that the IPC members would cause trouble, but I didn't think they'd be this tricky. Thanks for your help, Miss Linksha.
I should thank you for saving my life. Your sword skills were impressive. Taking down that big guy. I thought the General's retainers were all burly martial masters. I didn't expect Yenching to be... Can't argue with that. As for you, you must be the guests from the Astral Express, right?
It wasn't a big deal.
It's still early. So why don't we get some tea at the Alchemy Commission? We can discuss your suggestions for revitalizing the commission.
I'd be happy to accept your invitation.
And you three are coming too, right?
Come back. Oh.
All these years, and the view at the Alchemy Commission hasn't changed a bit. The tides come and go, but the ancient sea remains the same. For us Vidyadhara, there's nothing more nostalgic than our homeland.
You're a Luofu native, Miss Lingsha?
Yes, I grew up here, listening to the sound of waves while researching prescriptions with my mentors and peers at the Alchemy Commission. It's kinda sad, isn't it? Everything changes, but somehow remains familiar. Just like you, Don Hung, I traveled far from home, and now I've returned. Seeing the familiar scenery brings back a hint of nostalgia.
The view here would be even better without the Ambrosial Arbor.
Oh, really? I think that towering tree looks pretty impressive.
Even if it's impressive, it's a plague mark. The Xianzhou have been fighting abominations for thousands of years. And now that the Ambrosial Arbor has been reborn, it's only natural for everyone to feel uneasy.
Well, once a seed is planted, no matter how long it takes, it'll eventually sprout and bear fruit. In my humble opinion, the rebirth of the Ambrosial Arbor and the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were inevitable. The seed was already planted when the ancestors of the Xianzhou sought immortality. My bad. Well, since you went through the entire Ambrosial Arbor crisis firsthand, Dan Heng and Lieutenant Yan Qing, I'd like to discuss something with you.
What would you like to discuss, Miss Linksha?
I was lucky enough to be chosen by the Alliance to come in and clean up all the old grime in the Alchemy Commission. Honestly, the Alchemy Commission is riddled with problems and has reached a point where fixing it seems impossible. I'm looking to remedy this problem, but was wondering if you could provide any insights.
Insight of what?
Well, even though
Insights.
I'm a Vidyadharan like you, I'm an outsider, just like my companions here. I can't really say much about a remedy, but I do have a piece of advice, Miss Lingsha. The Vidyadhara and the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu have always been intricately connected. If you cannot distance yourself from these ties, Miss Lingsha, changing the situation within the Alchemy Commission may be quite challenging.
I may not know about politics, but I do know that the disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been operating within the Alchemy Commission for years. If you're determined to root them out, maybe you should discuss it with the General.
I see. Thank you for your valuable insights. While the Lux Arrow from the Rainbow possesses unparalleled power to sever the Ambrosial Arbor, it can't sever mortals' desire to prolong their existence. Just like how the Cloud Knights can eliminate the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but are unable to calm the hearts and minds of the people within the Alchemy Commission. Our Xianzhou forebears knew this well, and that's why they entrusted the duty of guarding the roots of the Arbor to the Vidyadhara. However, the Vidyadhara are still only mortal beings. 30 years ago, my mentor served as Alchemy Commission's Cauldron Master. She recognized the emerging undercurrents and sought to cleanse the source of the disturbance. Unfortunately, even though she was skilled in the art of healing, she didn't understand the human heart or how to eliminate the sickness lurking within the depths of the Alchemy Commission. In the end, she was framed and exiled to the Juming. I was also implicated and had to leave the Luofu. And guess who arbitrated the case and handed down the sentence? None other than General Jing Yuan himself.
What?
You heard it right. The ones responsible for the corruption in the alchemy.
What?
Alas, why is your face turning pale, Yanqing? Don't worry about it. I understand that when someone holds a position of power, they may sometimes have to make tough decisions. I won't hold any personal grudges against him. Besides, at our age, holding personal grudges is a luxury we can't afford.
Lingsha, you're back! Ugh, I've been waiting ages for you.
Yunli! Why aren't you with your grandpa? What brings you to the Alchemy Commission? Well, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Yanqing.
What a small world. You stole my sword. Give it back.
I see. Let's skip the introduction part then.
Why do I keep bumping into you? Are you stalking me or something?
Of course not. Unlike you, Miss Yunli, I have important things to take care of. You, on the other hand, seem to have all the time in the world to wander around without returning my sword.
Grandpa used to say that a sword reflects its master. I talked to your sword, and it told me that you've been distracted. You hesitate when you should strike, and you struggle to stay calm when your sword is unsheathed. Now that I see you again, I realize your sword was right. It wasn't me who took your sword. It was you who lost focus.
You really expect me to believe that nonsense? I've been taking it easy on you because you're a guest from the Juming. But you're not taking the hint. Don't people from the Juming know you're supposed to return what you've borrowed?
Just look at this flying sword. Even if I gave it back to you now, it'd just be taken away again in a few hours. You know the Cloud Knight saying, a Cloud Knight must never let slip their weapon. Yes? Well, sure, I can give it back to you now, but on the battlefield, that's a whole different story. Flying sword.
Fine! You don't have to give it back, because I'll take it back myself!
Oh.
Between these two, who do you think is tougher? Don't get me wrong, I'm just curious.
Get ready to separate them.
It is my first day at the Alchemy Commission. A brawl is definitely not how I imagine celebrating it.
Well, since you don't approve, I won't draw my sword here.
I didn't mean it in that way. Since you've already drawn your swords, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to test one another, right? I've received reports that the delves near the Alchemy Commission are still infested with abominations. Seems like my predecessors left quite a mess. So, if you two want to determine who's better, why not focus on them instead of each other?
Clearing out some abominations? Sounds boring.
It's the Cloud Knight's duty to eliminate those abominations. You don't have to ask me twice, Miss Lingsha. I'll help you get rid of them.
Oh, you think you're the only one who knows how to behave? If Lingsha needs anything, I'll gladly draw my sword and help her out.
It's so heartwarming to see both of you being so sweet and caring. So then, shall we get going?
Let's go.
Ever since the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were eradicated, their experimental abominations have been festering here. If you want a contest, I'll be the referee. The one who kills the most abominations within 15 minutes wins.
Lingsha, as always, you're still an expert in making unpaid work sound so noble and grand.
It's for your own good, little Yunli. While you desire to compete against each other, I don't want to see either of you getting hurt.
That's really thoughtful of you, Cauldron Master.
So, are you both ready? Let me say it again. Be careful when you draw your sword.
Lend me your strength. Blade is
Wait, my healer.
strike with heart. I didn't expect someone who can't even hold on to his sword to actually have some skill. You've got style with those moves, but you're not striking where it counts. It's such a shame to see you misuse your sword. Forever.
should I have protein moving? Uh,
To guard and defend. Crush them. Triumphant. Victory inevitable. Holiness your sword. Bladed strike. Sword descent. Triumphant. Victory inevitable.
Eliminating threat. Mission command.
Strike apart.
I don't have any healer. No. Yeah. I assume this works powerful. Yep.
Eliminating threat.
So we go.
See? Your technique was all over the... All you did was chop down a few monsters.
Oh. Well, then I'll give you...
If you're trying to pick a fight, just ask.
Oh.
Well fought, my young friends.
Oh,
However,
Fisher.
both of you have shortcomings. One of you focuses on dodging and weaving, while the other relies on brute strength, trying to take down targets with a single strike.
Who are you?
Me? I'm just a patient seeking medicine from the Alchemy Commission. A passerby, if you will.
Nah, not a simple passerby.
I thought I'd see my fill of impressive fights during the war dance. Yet here I am, able to witness a remarkable fight at the Alchemy Commission, of all places. Well, the Lawfu is never short of surprises. However, I have a small suggestion for you. Why don't you settle this dispute fair and square in the war dances ring? That way, you can resolve your differences with a proper duel and put your grudges behind you.
Grudges? No, not at all. Yunli and I, we were just sparring.
Sparring? You summoned your flying swords, and she swung her sword with full strength. No grudges between you. I don't believe it.
Aha! What brings you here, Lady Fei Xiao? Have you finished your health consultation with the Dragon Lady? Fei Xiao? Grandpa always talks about you. Could it be that you're...
The Merlin's Claw of the Xianzhou Yaoqing?
Looks like I'm quite famous on the Xianzhou Luofu, too.
Of course. Everyone has heard of the great general. Known to all, and unbeknown to none.
Vanquishing General? Isn't that title a bit too narcissistic? I don't like it. Ooh, I heard there's a dozing general on the Luofu, so I came up with a humble nickname for myself. The Lacking General. Lacking in worries, regrets, and rivals. Sounds much better, right?
Yeah, that's a befitting title that sounds both humble and impressive. Now that the sparring session is over, Yanqing and Yunli, shouldn't you politely thank General Fei Xiao for her guidance and bury the hatchet? Here's your sword. Keep it safe. Or it might get taken away again. By the way, we haven't settled the score yet. I'll defeat you fair and square.
This is how she apologizes? Now that I finally got my sword back, I should report to the seat of divine foresight. I'll take my leave, General Fei Xiao. Oh, by the way, Miss Linksha, if you've got some free time, I'd like to invite you to the seat of divine foresight for a chat with General Jing Yuan. I think there's more to those personal grudges you mentioned earlier.
Thanks for stepping in, General Fei Xiao. Otherwise, I'd have had to knock them out with my incense.
Not at all. Just doing what you asked. How about we call it even as payment for the healer lady's consultation?
Sorry, but even a general needs to pay their bills. We don't do credit here. And let's not forget, you'd have been waiting decades for a chance to see the Dragon Lady if it weren't for me.
Well, you can always send the bill to the seat of divine foresight and say it's for mentoring those kids. After all, it was quite the effort splitting them up. I nearly had to get tough. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to find a spot and get some fresh air. Back already? You've met with Jing Yuan and wandered around for a few hours. So, what do you think?
It appears that the Divine Foresight is using this war dance as a show of strength to convince everyone that the Luofu is prospering after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis.
But... I know you're going to say but, right?
But the influx of people attending the war dance is like a breeding ground for disorder and rumors.
The Cloud Knights on the streets remain vigilant. So at the very least, General Jing Yuan is aware of this. As for other matters, I'm unable to say.
I'd prefer to be excused from future meetings with generals. I'm just a military healer. And now all of a sudden I'm thrust onto the center stage having...
My work doesn't lend itself to being in the limelight either.
Just stop whining. At least you're in one piece, right? Before getting in touch with General Jing Yuan, I wanted to put aside my assumptions and see his momentum. That includes the overall bearing of the Cloud Knights on the street, what people are saying, and how those close to him behave.
The might of an army dwells not within its pawns, but within the force of its collective momentum. Recognizing this fact reveals the true measure of power.
A perfectly clear statement turned confusing thanks to your translation.
Yeah.
You've made me lose where I was now.
Are you treating General Jingyuan as your enemy?
The longest-serving general of the Xianzhou Luofu. Do you think he'd have only a few enemies?
By the way, General, you met the healer lady, yes? Could you show me the medicine she prescribed you?
Well, the healer lady couldn't do anything about my condition. She just told me to enjoy some tasty food.
So not even the famed healer lady could help? Don't worry. I'll fulfill my promise and find a way to cure you. Actually, I've found some leads.
What is it?
Well, life and death, Jiao Chou. It's all predetermined. Upon starting my military career, I made a pledge that the rest of my life would be dedicated to being the Xianzhou spearhead, hunting down the abominations of abundance till the end of my days. As long as I can fulfill that deep-seated desire, I don't care how long I live. You asked if I view General Jingyuan as my enemy. No. My real enemy has always been myself.
Enjoy some tasty food. So, what's for dinner tonight?
Jeez. You really know how to read the room, don't you?
You guys figure it out for yourselves. I'm due to catch up with an old war friend I've not seen for quite a long time.
Hey! I mean, when Yun Li swung that massive sword, she just casually blocked her attack with ease.
Mine too.
Yeah. But to go up against Yun Li is quite impressive, you know? That aura of heroism and grace. It almost makes me want to learn Xianzhou swordplay. You think so too, right?
I agree. General Fei Xiao is indeed impressive.
I was talking about Yenqing, actually.
Thanks for the kind words, Miss March. The war dance is coming up, and I've been chosen to represent the Cloud Knights in the ceremony. I've had my fair share of defeats lately, and even though I know there are always more skilled sword masters out there, seeing General Fei Xiao's skills today has made me feel a bit uneasy again.
Don't underestimate yourself. After all, generals won't fight in the ring during the war dance. Just remember the state of mind you had when you single-handedly took on me and Blade, putting life and death aside. With that mindset, you can prevail against most challengers.
I see. Thanks for the advice, Master Danheng. By the way, now that today's events are over, General Jingyuan wants to invite all of you to the Seat of Divine Foresight. He has something important to discuss.
I bet it's about how to deal with the generals from the Yaoqing and the...
I really don't want to get caught up in grown-up games so soon.
Need your extractor cleaned or your star skiff service?
Is gonna get over. Gonna get good. Deals 5 damage. HP. Okay.
Hey, there's something I need to tell you.
What
is your purpose for entering the seat of divine foresight?
Earlier at the Palace of Astral, I introduced these guests from the Astral Express to you, Elder White. But with all the people around, we only exchanged pleasantries. Now, I'd like to officially introduce them to you. These three braved great dangers, accompanying me to perilous places, defeating the chief culprit Fantilia, and uncovering the conspiracies of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. If you wish to know more, please.
Well, I skimmed through them, but despite all that, I believe in you. Since you joined the ranks, you have repeatedly achieved remarkable. Over the years, you've served the Alliance with loyalty. There are fools who doubt your loyalty. But I've seen enough failures in my time.
So, General Fei Xiao of the Yao Qing is the only one investigating the Ambrosial Arbor crisis on behalf of the Alliance?
Damn.
No. I am too.
This old man's words.
The Marshal ordered me to come to the Xianzhou Laofu. But the document only says, attend the war dance and listen to Fei Xiao's questioning. No need for that. You're all important witnesses. The Marshal is well aware of Jing Yuan's purpose in holding the ceremony, and understands the situation he is facing. She mentioned it because she believes both issues are important.
Thanks for your kindness and sincerity, Elder Huayan. But is it appropriate to tell everyone here about the Marshal's orders?
By introducing the Express's witnesses to me alone, aren't you aiming to discern the intentions behind both my actions and Fei Xiao's? And whether there's any discord between us? Well, since I'm being open and honest with you, I encourage you young folk to do the same. As for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, all I need to do is listen. General Fei Xiao will be the one asking the questions. Oh, by the way, I've prepared a gift for the war dance. Yes, it's this case, right?
What's this?
There will be numerous contests and celebrations. The host will dispatch a skilled warrior to take on challenges.
You humor me, Elder Huayan. The healer lady is just a young lady who knows nothing about martial arts.
I'm no match to you when it comes.
What's this box?
This sword case is intended for the War Dance's award. It's empty now, but in a few days, a precious sword will be delivered. I don't mean to boast about our skills, but this sword represents the pinnacle of the Zhu-Ming's craftsman. I've been wondering, who would be worthy of such a sword? Moreover, I hear that Yan Qing is an excellent swordmaster, and that he will be representing the Laofu as the ringmaster.
Thank you for your generosity, Elder Huayan.
If you want to give me a sword, just say the word, Grandpa. No need to beat around the bush.
You've got confidence,
I know you're all about swords, Miss Yunli. It's just a shame that it's the sword that ultimately chooses its rightful master.
Yeah. And even if someone gets their hands on such a precious sword, it'll probably end up in someone else's.
The outcome of our duel at the Alchemy Commission is still up in the air. Since you're interested, why don't you represent the Xianzhou Juming and challenge me in the ring?
That's exactly what I had. Not to be rude or anything.
Quiet down. We have other guests here. While you both seem confident that you'll win, you need to remember there can only be one winner and one loser in the ring, which could lead to hard feelings. Actually, I have an idea. We don't know who the winner will be, and it might not be either of you. But if you're eyeing that prize, you'll need to work together.
How does that make sense?
In my humble opinion, While a Cloud Knight is commendable by securing victories, it's even more so to pass on your skills and spread the way of swordplay. I'd be greatly pleased if this apprentice could represent the Express in the war dance.
Well, Elder Huayan's idea is quite interesting. Imparting swordplay skills requires teamwork, and both the winner and the loser will learn a valuable lesson regardless of the outcome.
Who? Wait.
I noticed just now that Miss March seemed quite interested in the outcome of your sword fight.
Oh, wait. Are you serious? Why
Yeah.
am I being dragged into this all of a sudden?
Things are already complicated enough as they are.
He strikes like lightning. Does Mr. Don Hong really need anyone's guidance for Miss March? She's like a piece of jade in the rough, just waiting to be shaped.
I appreciate your kind. Plus, I heard that each swordmaster has their own special move.
That's considerate of you, March 7th. But don't worry. It'll take you at least a decade of hard training before you can even start learning special moves.
Looks like March's curiosity.
The whole point is to know each other's moves. Defeating your opponent and...
So Miss Yunli has already agreed.
General, I haven't graduated.
So you're admitting your defeat, huh? If you're not even confident to teach, why don't you let me be the ringmaster instead?
Yang Qing, teaching an apprentice is also a way of honing your own skills and gaining insights. You've been an apprentice for years. It's about time you looked at swordplay from another perspective.
I see, General. Then count me in.
Now that Yang Qing has agreed too, it all comes down to Miss March giving her nod.
It's up to you to make the final decision, March.
Yeah. While I'm smart, learning swordplay sounds like a whole lot of work.
It'll be great learning swordplay. That way, I won't have to worry about you accidentally shooting me in the butt all the time.
Hey, I've never missed my target.
Mhm.
Then I'm on board. Thank you for your kindness, General Huayan.
Great! Starting tomorrow, Yan Qing and Yun Li will teach you the basics of the Cloud Knight's swordplay. Yun Li and I will head out and purchase some sword practice equipment for Miss March. Think of it as a little initiation gift.
You're too kind. Wait, you're giving me a gift? Shouldn't it be the other way around? General Huayan's gone. Wait, why does something feel off about what we talked about? I think we strayed off topic. How did things even get to this point?
Yeah, I brought you here because the General said he had some important matters to discuss. But how in the world did Yun Li and I suddenly become Miss March's swordplay mentors?
Because General Huayan wants us to stick around on the Luofu for some time. But from his point of view, we're no different from all the other tourists who may leave at any time. Since the crew's actions were mentioned in the Luofu's operations log were given to the Alliance, he probably wants to see firsthand if we're as capable as to report claims, or if we're just some made-up excuse to save face. And he wants to see it for himself during the war dance, which is why he even dragged Yun Li into this. What began as a simple contest between two swordmasters has now evolved into you two collaborating to mentor March.
Elder Huayan is still that tricky general who likes to give everyone a headache. My apologies. Truth be told, I invited all of you to the ceremony because I wished in the coming weeks I'll also invite all of you to a meeting with General Fei Xiao, where you may need to answer her questions and clear up any doubts she might have.
Did we do something wrong? We really did save the Lawfu.
Don't worry. No matter what happens, I'll stay here as a witness and answer any question.
Thank...
General, I know there isn't much I can do to share your burden. As the Lawfu Ringmaster, I won't let anyone defeat me in the war dance.
The illustrious Merlin's Claw waiting for me? And for so long, too? It's quite an honor. It's been a while, General.
It's been 30 years since we last saw each other, right?
Yes. Back then, you were the vanguard of the Yao Qing's Verdant Knights, and I was a pilot of the Law Fu's Rainbow Orbit Fleet. Who would have thought that upon meeting again, you'd be a general, and I'd have given up flying? Really does feel like a lifetime ago. Well, I wouldn't say I haven't seen you in 30 years. After all, your great victories are announced through the Yellow Bell resonance system every day. So I'm well aware of your great feats.
Still stable, I suppose. Do you still remember the medic who saved me in battle?
That healer with the odd name and peculiar temperament. What was his name again?
Jiao Cho. He's been my retainer and personal healer, delegated by the Alchemy Commission from the Xianzhou Yao Qing. Over the years, he's dedicated himself to managing my condition. It's thanks to him that I'm still in good health today. Given my background, I'm happy to have made it this far.
I'm relieved to know that you're safe and sound. Well then, since you and Elder Hua Yan are here, I imagine you must have received orders from the Marshal? As your friend, may I ask how the Alliance intends to punish the General of the Lawfu?
The Arbor's rebirth has frightened the elders who lurk behind the scenes. They fear the resurgence of abominations, much like what happened 30 years ago. Although the reports from the Lawfu explained all the details, we don't know if the Ruin Legion really invaded, or how exactly the Stellaron Hunters and the Astral Express became involved. This puzzle has many missing pieces. As you know, the fugitive Jing Liu, who mysteriously disappeared many years ago, has resurfaced. This time, she has brought along an outworlder and a coffin, claiming to offer the Marshal a method to fight against the Eons. The Lawfu Preceptor has also leveled accusations against Jing Yuan for neglecting the Alliance's principles. She asserts that Jing Yuan enabled the exiled Imbibitor Lunae to re-enter the Lawfu, thereby unlocking the lunarescent depths within Scale Gorge waterscape, which in turn disrupted the Vidyadhara's dutiful watch over the Ambrosial Arbor. It is for these reasons, well, duty calls.
I understand. I'm so— The Lawfu has enjoyed, unfortunately, for long-life species, enduring through the ages.
That's true.
Hule? You mean that Hule? The Borisin Warhead? The same Hule who has been imprisoned in the Shackling prison for over 7 centuries?
The nemesis of the Foxians who will never be forgiven and shall be imprisoned until the end of the cosmos. I can't quite remember the exact—
Usually, only emissaries from the Xianzhou Yao Qing Skyfaring Commission visit him once every—
The Foxians and the Alliance made a pact to combat the abominations, aiming to achieve justice and free their kin. That werewolf monster is to be— Given the situation on the Lawfu, those on the Yao Qing are concerned about it. That's why I was sent here. Well, not everything.
Tell me—
The Verdant Knights followed the route you mentioned and discovered the wreckage of— However, someone had already—
Our people? Or someone from—
No, neither. You come.
I think that's all for today. Thank you very much. Then goodbye. Thank you for watching the play.